Okay. Okay, hi everyone. Very good morning and a warm welcome to all of you. I hope everyone is doing fine and staying healthy. My name is Sanket and I'm from campus team. We would like to thank you for joining us in huge numbers today. We come again, we are back with the Career Recropedia, which we call it as PEEP. This is our flagship Industry Academia Connect program. And today we have our session for the persistent campus recruitment, right? I'm sure a lot of you would have attended the webinars done by Dr. Anand, who's the founder of Persistent, and Mr. Samir Bendre, who's our CPO. And we are thankful for all of you to making it a huge success. And those things are there on the Persistent handles of YouTube. So please feel free to go and join that, see that. An important note for all of us, this tool that we are on right now, Microsoft Teams, has a capacity for around 10,000 folks. So if there are any one of us who is unable to join, please don't panic. We will be sharing the video recording as well. Right. Moving on, as we deep dive into our today's interactive session, as I mentioned, this is the most interesting session for all of you and all of us as well. We hired superheroes is our theme, and as all of you are superheroes, you would like all of you to be a part of our organizations. And our esteemed guest speaker for today is Mr. Brijesh Chandel. He's the head HR business partner for Persistent Systems. A quick intro for Brijesh. Brijesh has been here for quite a while, and he's experienced in a lot of different industries. He has been a business leader in information technology and services industry, who has impacted the outcome in various areas of Persistent, starting right from the delivery leadership to business and customer partnering to recruitment, RM, which is resource management, and HR leadership. He is an engineer by qualification and holds an additional degree in MBA focused on marketing and finance. Brijesh has been extremely flexible with his roles within Persistent, although the focus has consistently been on the business outcomes and the strategic needs to the organization. Alternatively, we call him the treasurer of the biggest asset of our company, that's people, right? Just something that I'd like to add about Brijesh. Brijesh is a multi-talented personality, and I'm sure once you interact with him, you'll start feeling it that way. Yeah, he's into painting, he's into food vlogging, he's a life coach, and I don't know what not. We would also like to welcome our team members of campus, Ms. Kalpana Kudlinger. She is the head for the campus recruitment. Dominic DeMiller, he is a part of Pune team. Siddharth Pense, team Pune, and Sudeep, he's also part of Pune team. Right. Now, before we start on, I would like to do a quick poll for all of us. OK, so that gives a little context as to what do we want out of this session. OK, so he's Brijesh. So you want to just see him and then you will go and see him live then. So I would request Sudeep to post the question on the section that we have. You will see a link. This is going to be an anonymous link. All you would have to do is there's just one question, and I'm going to read that out for you. Once you see that question, all you have to choose is the most important thing that you feel. OK, so let me know once Sudeep shares that question. OK, Sudeep has already shared. So the question goes like this. According to you, what is the most important thing for you for your first job? OK, I'm going to read the options as well. Compensation, which is money. Option B is people of the company that you work with. That's your managers, your team members, etc. Number 3 is job roles and responsibility. Number 4 is the working environment, now virtual and physical when we get back to normalcy. The last and not the least, rewards and recognition. A small disclaimer, sometimes the technology is not so happy with us, so please hold on to your screens and your internet. And don't worry and don't panic. We plan to share the recording in case if you are not able to do so. Right? We're gonna wait for another 30 seconds for us to see all of you respond, and then I will request Sudeep to share his screen so that we could see as to what's the percentage of the crowd divided into, right? Post that, we will move on to our next segment. All right, so I think it's easy one. I don't think you should take a lot of time. Requesting Sudeep to just share the screen for seeing the results. Okay. So interestingly, not many of you are quite keen towards the money part of it, which is compensation, which we are very happy because we don't have to pay you any then. I think interestingly, what we see is a lot of them are more focused on the job, roles and responsibility. Okay, good. I think that's a good starting point for you, Brijesh. What I'm going to do is while your responses are coming in, I think we've got a hang of it, and this is good enough. Interesting. Great. Okay. All right. So with that, I request Brijesh. I'm going to hand it over to you, Brijesh. If you're requesting you to share your screen, and we can move on.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Hi everyone and good morning. Are you guys able to see my
Yes, we
screen?
are able to see your screen, Brijesh.
Okay, cool. So as you can see, we hire superheroes, okay? So let's see how the process is and let's talk about it all the more. Persistent. What does Persistent stand for? Okay. What's our brand idea? Okay. So at Persistent, we very, very strongly believe that everyone in the company, okay, sees beyond and rises above, which is, in future, what are the technologies going to be? What are the latest cutting edge work that is happening or going to happen in the world? We make some of those predictions, we work on them, and we help our customers rise above their competition. So that's what our tagline stands for. Uh, Before we come to, how do we hire our superheroes, which is all of you all, I think it will also be important for you to know what Persistent is. Okay, so I'll very quickly run you through what do we stand for and what we have been doing. So as of today, we are $500 million company. Okay, $500 million. We have 350 customers with us and 10,000 plus employees across the world. And we operate as of today in 17 different countries. Okay? And not just that. So we have very, very strong partnerships with a lot of vendors across the globe. Okay. So in cloud space, we have AWS and Salesforce. Then Microsoft, we have a very, very long relationship, right? I think from early 90s. Okay. Savient, Appian, these are business, workflow platforms. IBM, we have a very, very strong relationship with them. The recent ones are Mambo and Red Hat. Snowflake is also, something which is upcoming, and we have tied up with them as well as OutSystems. Okay. We majorly operate into, few of the verticals, which you would see on the right-hand side top corner, which is banking, financial services, and insurance, commonly known in the industry as BFSI. Okay. We also work in the industrial space. Healthcare and life sciences is something which is really, really picking up very well for us. And of course, we work in the software and high tech. We work with a lot of software and high tech companies. And when I say software and high tech companies, a lot of these are, startups from the Bay Area. So a lot of startups which have now become giants. We had started working with them when they were like very, very pretty small. One of the most important things, and I would like to encourage all of you all to go to our website, and read about it is the digital mosaic. Okay, so what is digital mosaic? So that is our flagship. What do you call it? The way we approach any of the solutions, any of the problems that our customers have. And basically what it means is, as of today, the technology has evolved. So there are multiple options. So we have broken down into, your front end experience, business services, back end, this, that, and stuff like that. And there are multiple options to deal with each of it. So a digital mosaic is nothing but, filling all these blanks, which the most optimum solution that we would have. Okay. And more often than not, we use our partners to help us fill these solutions. Okay, this is something which I really love. Okay, if you see, we have been on a rise year on year. You won't see even a single year where we have gone down in our revenues. So a company which has consistent growth is something which is very good as a fresher when you join a company. Okay, so always keep that in mind. So this is a map of the various countries where we are placed. Okay, so you see a big gap that is in China. We don't have a presence there. Otherwise, in most of the and South America. Otherwise, we are present in almost all the other continents. Okay. So what has Persistent been doing in these last 30 years? Okay. So Persistent was started by Dr. Anand Deshpande, and there was a session by him a couple of months before on Career Rectopedia. Yes. You would have had the opportunity to attend that. So when we started as a database company, and we used to do R&D projects. Okay. Slowly we moved on to product engineering. And even today, we call ourselves, and all of us, everyone in Persistent is so proud of being called, a company which is a leader in outsourced product development. So product engineering is something which runs in our DNA. Okay. We work with our partners and customers and help them create these awesome products. Then in 2007, so see, this is something that how we have been evolving. Okay. So the market, started working actually on a lot of cloud analytics and mobility solutions, early 2010, 9, 11, 12 kind of stuff. However, we started incubating on this in 2007 itself. Okay, so we identified individuals who had, the caliber and who were wanting to get into these new cutting-edge technologies. And by the time and it used to be called SMAC. Okay. Social, which is collaboration, social, mobility, analytics, and cloud. And by the time 2010-11 it came into the market, Persistent was already there. We already had that expertise to help our customers work on that. Okay. Around 2015, there was this next wave of digital transformation. So this again we started 2014-15, but actually in the industry digital transformation came in around 2016-17. So again we had that starting edge for all these. Okay. And then recently we have, AI, ML, data, identity access. So these are the things that we are working on, including Internet of Things. Okay. And like I said, okay, you would have seen our tagline, see beyond, rise above. So we continuously look at, what are the new technologies going to be, which are going to come in the industry, and how can we help our customers with that. Okay. So the thing that we are working as of now is how do we help software drive the entire business of the customers. Okay. So software-driven businesses is something that we are working on for most of our customers. So this will give you a good idea. But the essence over here, which I wanted to tell you, is that we have always been ahead of the curve and industry when it comes to technology. Okay. Persistent, as you see, is a global company having its headquarters in Pune. Okay. So these are our management team. Okay. So Sandeep and Keith and Gianni are based out of the US. Dr. Anand does a lot of travel, but he's based out of Pune. So is Sunil. Okay. Samir is based out of Nagpur. Okay. Tom is a legal counsel based out of US. Then we have Pandurang, who's our CTO, who's based out of Goa, and then Mukesh and Atul are in Pune. Okay. So you see a list of companies. This is not exhaustive. This is just a sample list. So over the years, we have been doing a lot of acquisitions. So if you need to grow on a geography, so that's one of the strategies to grow there inorganically. Whereas, acquire a small little company over there, okay, transfer the product engineering DNA to that company, and then help grow that region. Okay. So Uperience and Parks are our latest acquisitions that we have had, and this is in Europe. Okay, and so on and so forth. We have some other acquisitions as well. But while we grow organically, one of the important strategies to go into new geographies, because you would have seen when I was showing you the world map, that we have presence in a lot of countries. So we do use inorganic M&A transitions to do this. The next section is something which is very, very close to my heart and something which is very, very important for all of you also. Okay. So you might be, you might be the best coder in the whole world, but if you don't have your value system or if you don't have the desired personality, okay. So these are the kind of people that we would not like to opt for. However, if you have the required values and the required personalities, and even technically, because see what we believe is, if you have the desire and passion to excel, you would always do good in life. Okay. When it comes to persistence values, so ingenious is one of the values which we really value and which we have. Whereas, so ingenious means creating or coming out with something new that is really going to be helpful for our customers and for us. Being responsible. Once you take ownership of something, making sure that that is something that you deliver, and then being persistent. Okay, something you try something, it doesn't work. You keep trying, you keep trying, you keep trying till it works, and then being very, very confident. Very, very confident for your own self, very, very confident for persistent, and very, very confident for our customers and for our market. Okay. So these are our value systems. Okay, and it is very, very important that each and every individual of persistent displays these value systems. Clubbed with the values, we also have three different personalities, which we look for people. So when we go for campuses, so we look at people who are far-sighted, who can think about tomorrow. We look at people who are curious to know how things happen, and then we look for people who are relentlessly working towards a mission, who want to make sure that they achieve what they want to achieve. Okay. So this is something which I think you all should definitely make a note of. Okay. Being ingenious, being responsible, being persistent, and being confident, also being farsighted and curious, and relentlessly working towards your goal or mission. Okay. So fresher hiring and development. Okay. So like I said, the value systems that we have and the personalities that we have, those are very, very important for hiring. Okay. Then we have multiple different programs for the freshers that we either hire or are going to hire. Okay. So FT hiring program. So this pre-placement talk is a part of FT hiring program, wherein till last year we used to go to the colleges and unfortunately I'm not able to see you guys or hear you guys. I'm just talking to a screen, but in my mind I have the audience and I have the crowd that I used to always talk to and interact with, and it used to be amazing. But I think this is a short-term thing, and next year onwards we'll start it again. Okay. So FT hiring program is one of such programs that we have. Then we have an internship program. So the people that we have hired as FT in the 6th okay. So we offer them internship during their 7th semester to come and work at persistent offices. Okay. This year, if the offices are not open, we would also try to give that option to work virtually or remotely. In addition to that, we also have an apprenticeship program, wherein we do people who are interested in having a short stint and getting some work experience at Persistent. So we also help some of these people get a temporary work experience at Persistent. For your engineering, you have to work on some academic projects. So those are also some of the projects that we sponsor. We provide you mentors who will be able to handhold and guide you and mentor you and help you deliver those projects. Every year, this is very, very amazing. So there are a lot of students who come and work on these projects. At the end, when all these projects are completed, there is a small mini exhibition that we keep for all these projects, wherein people from colleges like you are able to demonstrate the project work that they have done. The next one, and one of my personal favorites, is the industrial visits. So a lot of college. So what we do is we invite a lot of college students to come and visit our premises. We give them a flavor of what professional life will be. We give them, an idea of how our premises, how Persistent, and how things work in a professional environment. Okay. In addition to that, we also have a lot of opportunities where we allow everyone like you to really learn and develop on your technical skills as well. So there are a lot of training programs which happen, and these are some things which we help people to attend. Um, Now, so there, when you're in college and during the season, you would have a lot of companies which would come in. Okay. So why persistent? Okay. So persistent because, like I said, we have always been ahead of the curve in terms of the technology trends. Okay. So when you work in persistent, you really get to work in technologies which are cutting edge and latest. Okay. In persistent, we have something called a persistent university, okay, which has extensive programs. Okay, see, because I'll tell you what, once you're in college, okay, and if you say you're done learning and everything, and now you have a job and you don't have to learn anything new, you're mistaken. Because in the field of technology, every day there is something new which comes up, and it is extremely important that you keep yourself relevant. You will get a job. Suppose you get a job and you stop learning. What happens? The technology will die down and you will become irrelevant for the industry and for the market, and there will be no value that you would have. Hence, it is extremely important that each one of you all make sure that you continue to learn. Okay. Now, sometimes what happens is once you have started working, it's a little difficult to go back and do your studies and stuff. Hence, we have something called the Persistent University, which is in-house, which is within the company, and which provides you all these opportunities to continuously learn and develop on your technical skills, soft skills, business skills, whatever. Persistent, I'll also tell you. So if you go to Glassdoor, you will see that one of the feedback which continuously comes about Persistent is the great culture that we have. Okay, the people at Persistent, the kind of commitment that the company has for all of its employees. Okay, so great people, great working environment is something that you will really get to experience over here. Plus, there's a lot of fun. Okay, so many times when I come to office, it's Mondays are generally bad, and this doesn't happen on all Mondays, but in a week wherein there are some programs or some extracurricular activities scheduled, I myself really look forward to coming to office on that Monday also that way. Okay. Plus, in addition to that, even from a technology perspective, we used to now because of the virus thing, we haven't had any of those sessions in the past 6 months, but we really used to have a thing called semicolons or hackathons. So these are all hackathons wherein teams come together, they have a lot of fun, and in that process also create a lot of valuable things in terms of technology. So I'll just leave you on the screen for a minute, okay, and look at the background. So these are all the people that we had hired last year. Okay. And then we told them that how would you like to demonstrate Persistent's logo? Okay. So you see, you look at the innovation that all these people have done. Okay. I'll just leave you on the screen for a minute. And these are rock stars who are going to join us this year. Okay. And similarly, during the course of time, once you're selected and once you're hired, okay, you will also go through some of these activities. We would like to make sure that Persistent and you are engaged together, so that when you join office, you don't feel you are already prepared to join your office, and you already know a lot of people, a lot of things within the company. Okay. So now I'll spend a little bit of time on how life at Persistent would be for you. Okay. So one Persistent, which is like I already said, and you would have seen in the map as well. So we have a lot of offices across the company. However, you go to any of these offices, you will have the same values and same principles and the same culture that you would have either in India or in US or in Europe or anywhere else. Okay. We also value diversity and we are very inclusive. While we have our ethics which are globally there, however, in each of these offices, we do have a local outlook. And how do we do that? Okay. So even in India, so I'll tell you what, like in Nagpur office, we had a holiday for Mahalakshmi Puja. In Pune office, we had a holiday for Ganpati Visarjan, and so on and so forth. Okay. So we also make sure that there is a local outlook while our ethics are globally present. Happiness, this is something extremely close to my heart. Okay, so there's a lot of celebrations that we do for any successes that we have. Okay, we have people come together for various events and activities. These events include not just technical events, but also we also help the society. So there is something which is called wherein there are a lot of people who come together and do a lot of social work in most of our offices. across the globe. Okay. We also have interest communities over here. So suppose if you're interested in photography, okay, so you can, come once you join Persistent, you can be a part of that virtual community, and a lot of people, plan. All these people come together, plan events and stuff like that, and not just photography. There are lots and lots and lots of interest areas. If there is an interest area which does not exist, but you have and you're interested in that, that is something you can create your own community. Okay. I already spoke about beyond work initiatives. Okay. Now coming on to growth and progression. So I mentioned about the Persistent University. So there is continuous learning that you have. Promotion cycle. So we have a promotion cycle which is every quarter. Okay. So you don't have to, necessarily wait like you become eligible. You don't have to wait for an entire year, which would happen in case of an annual cycle, right? Plus, what we also have is something called iJobs, wherein, once you have completed a stipulated number of months on a particular project, you can choose which is the next project or next technology that you want to work on. Okay, and this is, something which is available on the net, and there's a policy for that. So it's not like you get into a project and you're stuck into it for the rest of your life. Okay. From a wellness perspective, we have a lot of specialists. We have a lot of activities that we do over here for your mind and body. Okay, we have gyms in most of our offices. We also have a medical support facility. Plus, there is something which we have which is called PEBT. Okay, and that is something I would like to spend a minute on that, because that is an insurance which is for the people, by the people. Okay, so for a contribution of 1 rupee per day, you get, if there is a medical emergency which happens at your place, okay, no paperwork, no hassles, you get you get the money for your medical things, just like that in a jiffy. Okay. Innovations, I already discussed much of it, and culture. Okay, so the culture part, I would not be able to. You have to be here and you have to experience it yourself. Okay.
Can we just check if everyone's able to hear?
How will we check that?
I mean, you can just ask people can post on chat box.
Yeah, I just wanted to check if you guys are able to hear. Can you just post that you are able to hear?
Yeah,
on chat?
Because I'm able to see that it has paused.
Your video seems to be paused, Rajesh. And audio probably we can check. So sorry for this, guys. We
Just check.
seems to be some technical glitch. Just give us a minute to fix it.
Stop presenting.
एक बार stop कर दीजिए. Okay. Can we just check if your video is एक बार बंद करके चालू कर दीजिए. Restart it, and then you do the presentation again. See if you are able to include audio.
Check as well.
Can we do this? Can you come to my screen and then let's do that? Because I think this is some issue. Yeah. So guys, we'll just take a minute. One sec. I think there seems to be some issue with the technology. One sec. Are you able to see me? Or even mine is hand?
Kilpan, is Sanket live?
So, yeah, I can see Sanket's video, but your video
Okay,
is still.
so what I'll do is I'm just sharing this. Are you able to see me?
Yes, we are able to see your screen as well as your video.
Okay, and you can see my hand movement.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we'll do this.
I'll
Back. Use this. Okay, perfect.
You can disable or
I do that.
disable the video.
You. Just. Cut you. System. You continue.
Okay, so guys, sorry about the small technical glitch that we had. Sanket, you've done the audio part. When you shared.
No, let's just check it again.
Can we check with Dominic once if he's able to?
Dominic, are you able to see us properly?
Yeah.
Hear
Yeah,
us
I'm able
properly?
to see you all. Yeah.
Sanket, as an attendee also, I can hear and I can see you all guys.
Yeah, we can see.
Can you all share your deck, please? Yeah.
It's visible. I'll do that. So guys, sorry for the small technical glitch that we had. We were on, how would life be at Persistent? And I was talking about culture. And I was saying that, for the culture, you have to be here and experience how the culture would be. And let us give you a small glimpse and we'll just play a video of how life would be here.
ये चालू हो गया यहाँ आ जाओ don't have any other option but to do that because so
Can we replay the video?
As we are back, I'll just share my screen again.
we'll play the video one more time because it was
Yes, and we will play the video one more time.
Are you able to see, guys? Can you just put it on the chat?
All right. So I think this video would have given you a much more idea of how your life would be once you are a part of Persistent. Okay. And one again, more important thing over here is everyone finds their own identity, own group, own circle, own people, own technologies that they are interested in, and so on and so forth. Okay. Uh, So we are superheroes. So everyone who's in Persistent, we feel that we ourselves are superheroes. Okay. So let me spend about a couple of minutes, telling you about my story and how what all I have been doing at Persistent. So basically, I'm a chemical engineer, and I've had taken breaks in employment and done a couple of entrepreneurship ventures. Okay, so when I joined Persistent, I was handling a small team of 7 or 8 people. This was 2010, and prior to that, I had an experience of a startup, and I worked with another global company for about 10 years or so. Okay, so 7 people team I started. Within a year, I was managing about a team of 100 people. And in 2 years or so, I was managing an entire unit, a delivery unit for telecom and sales. And then one fine day, our CPO came and he said, hey, Brijesh, would you like to, try something different, do something different in life in terms of your job? I said, why not? And then he offered me to be a business partner. So a business partner is a person who looks at, managing all the resources and looking at all the requirements that people have and so on and so forth. It also needed, a deputation to Pune for about a year and a half. Okay, I went to Pune, lived a great life in Pune, had a very different perspective of entire business when I was doing that job as a business partner. Okay, then I came back into delivery after 1.5 years and started doing delivery, and then did delivery, and so I was also promoted, managing a team of about 300 to 400 people after that. Okay, and then again after a year and a half, 2 years, so Nitin Kulkarni, who was our CEO at that point in time, he said, Brijesh, that we need a little, we really need to focus on US and really need to focus on hiring within the US. So would you like to do that? I said, okay, let me try. So then I went to US. I was heading recruitment for entire US, and within a year and a half, I mean, we doubled our count in US. Okay, so the number of people that we had, we actually doubled after a year or so. Okay, so which was like great success for Persistent. Then again, after that, I came back into delivery. So I have been doing an enabling business function and then back into delivery. So then Appian was one of the technologies, which is a BPM platform, one of the technologies that we had started working on. So then I started managing Appian as the head of delivery. So I did that again for 2 years. It was amazing because Appian was new in the market. Okay, we were new into Appian, and that was something which really brought. That was a not a no platform, but a very low code platform. So the kind of benefit that it would bring to the customers was amazing. Okay, and we really had a dream run with Appian at that point in time. Then I came back and I wanted a break because I've been working for 20 years then. So I said that I will gift myself with a 6 months of sabbatical. And in Persistent, you also have that. So after you work for X number of years, you can opt for a sabbatical. So I took 6 months of sabbatical, opened a restaurant of mine. Okay, and then after 6 months, I came back again. So the restaurant was running, and then I was working over here, which I eventually closed for different reasons. But then that's when I came into HR. Okay, and ever since I've been heading HR for Persistent. So that's in brief my story at Persistent that we have, and I'm sure there are multiple. Kalpana, who's sitting here with me, Kalpana has played different roles. As of today, she is heading campus, but when I was in delivery, she was my partner in HR, and so on and so forth. Okay, so everyone gets to do what they really like to do. The company encourages this culture to really learn and to do more and more things, make yourself more diverse. Okay. Having said that, okay, let's also talk about if you want to be selected for Persistent, what is the eligibility criteria that you have? So first and foremost, we take students from computer science and IT branch only. The 10th, 12th and the third year aggregate needs to be 60% and above. And unfortunately, anyone with having an ATKT or a backlog is someone that we don't really consider in Persistent. But if you still want to work in Persistent, what happens? So you go and work in some other company, really make yourself awesome. And once you have an experience of 3, 5, 10, whatever, then you can apply at Persistent, and at that point in time, based on the caliber that you have, okay, you might be recruited into Persistent. Okay, so that's the workaround if you are unable to be a part of this awesome company as of now. These are the packages that we offer. So anyone who gets selected at Persistent gets a Naviva package, okay, which is 4.51. Now, once you have your objective, so if you are a select and your objective or your test score is very, very high, and your second level interviewer also recommends you to be evaluated for a higher package, then you get evaluated, and based on that evaluation, you can be offered a Viveka or a Sujana package. So I'm sure you will have a lot of questions on this. So please post your questions and we will try to help and answer those questions. From an evaluation perspective, I was saying, so we have section A, which is all the tests. OK, so objective, English, logical ability and basic programming tests that we have. Right. Section B is advanced coding. So advanced coding is not for everyone. This is only for people who have been recommended for an advanced coding. Okay, how do you get recommended for an advanced coding? So if your score in section A is very high, and if your level 2 interviewer also feels that you have a lot of potential, then you get recommended for an advanced coding. Okay. And if you clear your advanced coding, then you have another second round of technical interview, which is over here for a higher package. And last activity that we have over here is the HR interview. And in the HR interview, I already told you what we look for. We look for, your value systems. We look for your personality. We look to make sure that you're really passionate and really want to, looking forward to be a part of Persistent and have those qualities. Because, someone with unfair practices, someone who's unethical, no matter how good the person or the individual is, we would not want that individual to be a part of Persistent. And that is something which gets evaluated in the HR interview. Okay. So what would we recommend you to prepare as of now? So work on all your technical competencies, analytical, personal attributes and interpersonal skills. In addition to that, from a software perspective or from whatever you have studied in your college, do work on data, refresh your data structures, algorithms, networking, OS and software engineering and testing concepts. For all the freshers, the kind of things that we have, I covered this in brief, but just reiterating. So we have this career Recropedia, which is this session is this program is a series of this session. Okay, then we have technology learning journey. We have internships, academic projects, which I already told you. We also have something very interesting called Career Compass. Okay, so we launched this last year, and we have had like rave reviews about this. So the kind of so everyone gets to know each other because all of them are on a once. It's like Facebook, okay, but a Facebook for Persistent for all the freshers who are going to join. It's like that.
It's more of a enablement program for freshers so that they are able to navigate their journey from college to corporate in a smoother way.
Correct.
And we try and prep up them for their entry level roles.
Correct. So when you join on your first day, it is not a surprise for you. Ki, Arey, main kahan aa gaya hu? So that platform helps you, become a professional from a student. Absolutely. Okay. And there are some other different programs that we have. So once you are a part of Persistent, you will get to know all these. Finally, like I say, we are the champions and we will do whatever it takes for us to make superheroes. So with that, all the very best to you, and Saket, over to you.
All right, thank you, Brijesh. That was a lovely session. With that, we would like to just start off with our question answer session. I would request all of you to post that. We are also little sorry for what the technology was not allowing us to do. So once you join the Persistent, I think we should prepare a better tool so that nobody has these kind of problems when they do this live sessions for 10,000 folks. Okay, over to you. What we are going to do, the flow of this thing is going to be, you start posting your questions. We're going to take as maximum as we can as the time permits to us. And based on the questions and the responses, there will be, I would request all of you to please pay attention because most of your questions are going to get answered. So don't try and repeat those questions. Once you are able to get those answers, hold on there in case if you have any further questions. we may not be able to take it as of now in the interest of time, but we will try and address it to you through your TPOs and other. Okay. All right. So then over to you. We will go questions one by one. I'll turn my video on. Okay. All right. So. Yes, I'm able to see your questions. Okay. All right. So the first questions. Will there be negative markings? Also, what is the mark division for each section? I think we've covered that in the section, but to respond to your question, there's no negative marking for any of the answers that you're going to give it through the session. Okay. And the mark divisions also, if you want, I can just quickly share my screen or let you know over verbally. Okay. And you may want to note it down. Right, so your section A that Brijesh spoke about, objective test is going to be 20 minutes. English language is going to be around 15 minutes. Logical ability is going to be 15 minutes, and then programming is for 45 minutes. So your objective test, which is scheduled tomorrow, is going to be of around 1 hour 35 minutes to be precise. Okay.
That's objective plus subjective.
Objective
so which has two rounds. The first objective round would be of 50 minutes. And the subjective, that is programming round, would be of 45 minutes. You'll get 2 programs to write, and very small programs where you have to write the code.
Okay. All right. So please mention the bond period. No, this is anonymous. We don't have any bond, any James Bond. So we don't have any contract as such. Maybe for some of the organizations may be doing that, but to respond to your question, no, we don't have any bond. What your company need criteria for campus? I think we've clarified that, but just to reiterate,
why do you need a criteria?
Why your company need a criteria for campus? Okay.
See, so every year in India, you must be aware that we have lakhs of engineering students who get passed out. It is next to impossible to screen the candidate. Obviously, there are certain requirements, there are certain competencies that we look forward when we hire best of the talent in the world. So that criteria has to be there, and that criteria matches with the kind of talent that we want to hire, and as well as to screen the talent pool. I hope that answers.
Yeah. Okay. Some of the questions, what is the exam pattern? I think we've covered that. What is the duration of the session? We have to appear for tomorrow. Yes, we've covered that too. Please mention about the job roles offered and the respective packages. So the job role that we talk about is more of a software engineer. It's a generic designation. However, it depends on the trainings that you undergo, the skill set that you have, and based on the outcomes of your trainings during your trainings, your allocation to the respective projects will be done. Okay. Packages, we've spoken about it. We call it Navviva, which is a 4.51. Viveka and Srujana are our differential higher package, which is for 6.41 and 8.41 respectively. That depends on your progression through the test as we do. Okay. All right. Is there a technical interview round? Yes, there is a technical interview round. What is the scope of ML and data science in Persistent? A lot of scope, not only ML. Yeah, you want to take that one?
No, I would request
Brijesh to take that.
Actually share more perspective on this.
Yeah. So we have different units, like I showed you. So we have
your video. Just turn it on.
So we have industry vertical units. Okay. And then we have horizontal units. So industry verticals, like I said, we have BFSI, industrial, healthcare, life sciences. When we come to horizontal units, we have Salesforce, we have Appian, we have security, and we have ML and AI, which is a part of our data practice. Okay. So when people come in, so when we have freshers coming in, depending upon the needs of that particular unit and depending upon the caliber of the individuals, so there is a marriage which happens. Okay. So some of the people may go into ML And AI, some of the people will go into Salesforce, some of them will go into banking, some of them will go into something. So the distribution happens. And like I said, this depends upon the needs and requirements that we have in a particular unit versus the caliber that the individuals have. So I hope this answers your question.
Yes, it does. Okay. Some of the questions are repeated, but sir, are both the rounds scheduled on the same day? And if someone clears a round, when is the interview scheduled? So I would we would be providing the inputs and communicating the details to you separately through your TPOs. But typically we would want to close the technical rounds on the same day. Because this year it's all going to be virtual, there may be some operational challenges of the availability of the interviews as well. So we would probably it might take a day or two to close the entire rounds of interview. Okay. What's the time of the duration? We've covered that. Does Persistent provide accommodation or incentives or any such thing? If you are recruited with us and if you are relocating to one of our locations, yes, we provide accommodations to you. The details will be communicated to you respectively while at the time of joining. Okay.
Initial accommodation, not
Initial.
accommodation.
Yeah. Of course, it's gonna be for 7 days. So as of now, we don't provide a full-time accommodation, but yeah. Okay, is the camera going to be required for the test? Yes. For all the students who've registered, I think the system testing has been done for all of you, where it would have given you a compliant check towards the camera, so it's required.
See, the platform comes with a lot of proctoring features to ensure, I mean, we trust you, but obviously there could be certain, cases. So there will be a vigilance provisioning which has been done. And for that, camera is something which is must.
Okay, thanks. So Kalpana, this one's for you. Has the corona pandemic affected the number of students hired by Persistent?
No, I mean, if you are following the Persistent stock and the results, we are doing pretty well. And the number wise this year, again, we are looking towards 700 to 1,000 candidates to hire over a year through various sources.
Okay. Then we have Medha says, sir, what are the initiatives that have been taken to keep the core values of Persistent intact? Brijesh, you want to take that one?
Yes. So these core values were framed. So we had a set of core values and we built on top of those. And these are the new set of core values that we had institutionalized last October. So what we did is the chief marketing officer, the chief people officer, and few of us from the HR team, we visited all the centers across the globe, each and every center. And then we socialized all these values with every single employee within Persistent. So that was one thing that we have done. Another thing is anyone, any individual who joins Persistent has to go through these core values and personalities and are all brand values that we have. Before they get, not before, I mean, they join and then they have to go through it and then they have to go through an exam. Okay. It's a pretty simple and straightforward exam. But it is, more from a perspective of that I understand this and I accept that this is a behavior that I would have to exhibit within Persistent. So these are the two important things that we do. In addition to that, time and again, there are different initiatives like the Monday Coffee, wherein we have, stories around these values that we tell people virtually so they get to understand about it. And the other thing that we do is, these are things to enable. Okay, if at any given point in time, it is found that someone is not adhering to these core values, then we, that is something which is not at all tolerated within Persistent. In short, so as to say that.
Yeah, thanks, Brijesh. The next one says, sir, where we will be placed when we crack the interview? So as I mentioned, your placement or your allocation of the respective projects will happen post your assessments that are done through your training programs. So you don't worry about it. We will put you to the best of the projects based on your capabilities. Okay. How are you handling cultural events and team bonding events at the time of work from home? So this one's for you, Brijesh.
Okay. So you would have seen a lot of backdrops when I was presenting my screen. Okay. So those are all the pictures that we have collected through a lot of virtual online sessions that we used to have. So when the pandemic started, we used to have, coffee with the CEO. So every Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Okay. So and every day there used to be a theme, and this used to be across the company. So suppose the theme is your favorite
Pet
your favorite pet or your favorite vacation
or food.
or your destination, your food or something. So everyone will post pictures of that, and then people will come over there with their coffees, and everyone would be there and enjoy their own work and appreciate work from others. So that is something that we used to do. Second, what we are also doing is within local teams, within smaller teams, we have different initiatives. We have different. Some of these are video enabled, some of these are remote and not video enabled. So like quizzes and fun facts and so on and so forth. And for the teams from a work perspective, like we used to have our daily scrums in the office. Now the daily scrums happen over Teams or over Zoom or over any of these things. Okay. So all these things are going on. The only thing is earlier people used to be in front of each other. Now they are on the cameras and they are virtually there.
Okay. All right, thanks, Vijesh. So the next one is coming to you, Kalpana. How safe is it for a girl to work at Persistent? I think you should take that one.
Yeah, it is absolutely safe, and not only for girls but for boys too. Yeah, so for safe for everyone. And in the current COVID situation, anyways, we are not working out of any physical work location, but otherwise we do have a lot of policies in place, which includes anti-harassment, whistleblower policy. Now this is again gender agnostic. Besides this, we also have a transportation facility specifically for female employees. If someone needs to work beyond 8 p.m. in the evening, then there is a transportation which is provided by the company.
Okay, good. But very surprised to see this question. So generally, I mean, at least I have been in the HR for such a long time. I have never heard a question like this from anyone within Persistent so far. But I think what Kalpana said, I mean, it's absolutely the safety within Persistent does not depend upon your gender.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kalpana, for that. Okay, so Hitesh says, what is that mark of infinity? I think the answer lies in the question, but I'll still request Brijesh to highlight on that.
Logo. Your favorite topic.
The logo.
The logo.
Yeah.
No, so that is something which Persistent has ever. So we have been evolving on our logo because that is an exercise which all the corporates do. But ever since 1990s, we had that infinity sign which was a little open. And now if you see, it is almost closed. So there's a small little space, but it is almost closed. So that infinity is something that, like, it goes and it resonates so well with our values, okay, that we will be relentless. So we will keep working till infinity, till we deliver whatever value we want to do, okay. We will be responsible. So responsible, those the two circles that you have, that is the sign of being responsible, containing and making sure that you don't go out and you make sure whatever you have committed to, you really do that, okay. And then basically ingenious. So being ingenious, being, going to infinity, okay, to make sure that you solve the customer's problems that you have. Okay, and then, once you are in office and you get to also go on the internet and you'll get to read a lot about our brand values and other website.
Okay, all right. So thanks for that. So Hitesh, I think you've got the response. Are there any stock options in the compensation? Currently, to answer your question, for the joiners, we don't have it. But as you move along the grades and the progression, you start to figure out, and there will be options for you as well. Okay. When we will receive link for the test for the ones who've registered with us, and I'm sure most of you have, would be receiving it mostly by today evening or by tomorrow. Right. How many projects can an employee have at hand simultaneously? Brijesh, you want to take that?
Yeah. So basically one project at a time. Okay. Or max, you can be like 50% on a project, 50% on another project. Or if you're not dedicated on a project and you want to work as part of, center of excellence and stuff, then you can actually at the same time contribute to multiple projects. So it all depends upon different arrangements and your allocation. Okay. However, once you join as a fresher, so in the immediate future, you would be trained for a couple of months and then you would go on a project. So what we think is that when you start your career, you should ideally handle just one project. Over a period of time, once you get expertise, you can handle multiple projects also.
Okay. All right. Even during the freshers period, do quarterly promotion cycles apply? Yeah, they are there across for all quarters. But if you are referring to that, would you be getting promoted on a quarterly basis? The answer to that is no. There is a certain criteria that you have to be a part of. And once that happens, so this quarterly cycles are for everyone. I mean, the promotion that happens based on the time that you've spent and the performance that you had performed given, and based on that, your things happen. But yes, your question is probably kind of mixed. But yes, the quarterly promotion applied to them, but you have to be eligible for that.
So I'd like to add to that. See, suppose what happens is, you become eligible in the month of, like say, July, August.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if there is an annual promotion which happens only in July, so though you have become eligible in August, you will have to wait all the way up to next July to get promoted. Now what happens is, even if you become eligible in August, then your promotion can happen if you are, if you are worth it, can happen in the next quarter, which is 1st of October. Okay. So that's the advantage of quarterly promotions.
Okay. On what latest technology Persistent works, I think we've covered that. But to respond and answer to your question, mostly all the technologies that are there, which are very relevant in the market, Persistent has presence across the board, and nothing very specific. I mean, we are, as Brijesh was talking about it, we've always been ahead of the curve, and we'd like to be that way. So you name it and we have it. Do Persistent practices social distancing and work from home? Yes, we do both. There are a lot of care that has been taken, a lot of contribution we've been doing in the field of research. Courtesy Persistent have been contributing from technology perspective. We've also been one of our pioneers in donating to the PM fund, which is the government of India, and we've donated around $3 million, if I'm not wrong, 25 crores is what we've already donated. Probably that was in the month of April, May, if I'm not wrong. And we've been continuously supporting government through our CSR initiative, which we call it as Persistent Foundation. Wherever possible, we are providing all the help through our corporate social responsibility. So yes, to answer your question, answer is yes to both of your questions. Sir, who is eligible for advanced coding test round? Students who clear the first round, or to everyone? As Brijesh mentioned, everyone primarily appears for the basic, which is objective plus subjective test. Okay, whoever are going to be the toppers will move accordingly to the advanced coding test, and the results will be communicated to you appropriately. Okay, so we won't be able to mention the cutoff or the percentage right now because it is something which is confidential, and we would like to take a look at that before we declare it. In the mail, it says joining will be in 2021. Will we get an internship period thought to? Yes, we do. Right, so your joining is going to be in the next year, but yes, we will provide you internship, which will start from January typically, and for 6 months, and then you join us on board.
Just to add to that, so let me take you through the recruitment process again, since we are getting a lot of queries. So as far as the recruitment process is concerned, now there would be 2 rounds. First is the screening round, which consists of the objective test and subjective test. Objective test, I'm sorry, and I'm going a little in detail because there are too many questions. In objective test, there would be 3 modules. First would be to assess your CS fundamentals. Second would be on the language, English language. Third would be aptitude, which will assess the logical ability. And the first section would be of 20 minutes. There would be 20 questions. For English language, the duration would be 15 minutes, which will cover 10 to 12 questions. And third part, aptitude, again would have around 10 to 12 questions, and which will you'll get 15 minutes to cover that section. In subjective round, you'll have to write 2 codes and you'll get 45 minutes. Now this is the screening round. So whoever clears the screening round and top 20 to 25% of the performer, they get a chance to appear for the advanced coding test. So based on the results, then you'll go through L1 and L2, which is a technical interview round. And after that, there will be a closing round with HR discussion based on your overall performance. Offer will be rolled out. Once you get an offer, then there is a fresher enablement program. So colleges and institute which allow the internship, they'll get a 6-month industry exposure through our specially designed internship program with Persistent, which generally starts around December-January time frame, and it is till June. And in continuation, then you can work with Persistent once your internship is done, and once you appear for your exams, and after that you can actually join Persistent. Now, students which are unable to take internship because institute do not allow 6-month break, they can go through our Career Compass program, which is a holistic fresher enablement program, which is again a virtual online platform, and wherein we actually conduct a lot of interventions to give you the technical exposure, and also to let you know more about the company, people, culture, and get you customized to Persistent. So that's the journey for the selected candidates.
Okay, thanks, Kalpana. All right, so after a lot of great questions, I think there's another interesting question that has come.
And they all should prepare for that.
Yeah.
They'll be asking that in the
So that question is, and I don't know what to answer and how to answer, but I'll leave it to all of you to start responding to that question. So there's somebody by the name Let Me Be Anonymous, and I don't know whether it is he or she, but I suppose it is he. Sir, rasode mein kaun tha? And I don't know what it means. If anybody is able to decode that for us, please enlighten us. You may want to just put it out in the chat in the Q&A session, and in case if we are able to figure out the question, we may be able to answer it later. Okay, so what's the intake from each college? There is no intake specific from any college. It depends on the interviews and the test that you undergo, and may the best man win. When is the test, sir? It's tomorrow. Your objective test is tomorrow for most of the colleges. There will be some other colleges who may not be able to participate tomorrow, but we are communicating with them separately. Tell us more about recruiting procedures. That will be highly generous, but I think we've spoken about it. And with that, I think we've covered most of the questions, approximately more than 30-35 questions to say so. And we should, I think we've little overshot our time, but in the interest of time, I would once again like to thank all of you and wish you all the very best for your campus season. And we wish to see all the superheroes with us next year. And we hope you all are safe and taking good care of yourself and your families. With that, I would request if Kalpana, Brijesh would like to add closing statements, and then we can close and call it a day.
Sure. So guys, we are looking for fresh minds who can bring new perspectives and great energies to our team. So if you are looking for a place that values your curiosity, values your passion, desire to learn, and if you are someone who wants to help others and change the world, then you are future Persistent. So all the best, and I'll just check with Brijesh if there are any closing comments.
Yeah, just on a lighter note, since most of them have voted for not a compensation, surprisingly, we'll be happy to get you on board.
No, I would counter Sanket there, and I think Persistent is one of the companies which pays even the freshers very, very well.
Yes.
Because and it's good, See, the compensation will anyways come, but if you're interested in technology, that is something which we are also interested in, people like you. So looking forward to have as many of you all in Persistent as possible. Okay, and all the very best. Take care.
All right, thank you everyone. Thanks
Bye
for your time.
Thank you.
Good luck. Bye. We're closing the session.